Hey, Sheldon. Hey, Stevie. How you guys doing?
Merry Christmas to you all out there.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, I didn't realize you could say Merry Christmas in the U.S., Sheldon. I thought it was all Happy Holidays.
Well, it's most of the time you see it a lot of happy holidays. That's what it's
Okay,
mostly. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that the two of you guys didn't come in with your Christmas hats or sweaters or, Father Christmas, Stevie. I didn't, I thought you guys would be a little bit more.
I've got the beard. I've got the
You got the
Santa
bid.
Claus beard.
You got the bid. Yes, I don't even know what episode this is. I know it's a final episode of the year. I know it's our Christmas episode, but I don't know if this is episode 10 or 15 or 20. I don't know. But it seems to have been going fast.
No, I
Uh,
think it's about 20. I think we're up to about 20 now.
maybe so. But guys who are joining us, want to thank you. This is our Christmas edition. We're going to shortly after we're going to put in the link, so anyone that wants to come on, say a few words, say hi and stuff, we'll let you join the live video cast here for 90 seconds and stuff. So yes, good evening. Yeah, so we want to appreciate you guys for rocking with us, and we're going to get you become part of the show tonight. But anyway, as we always do, we start off by Stevie Sheldon, anything new that is in the world of music over the past week that you'd want to share.
Yeah, here in America, man, Usher just finished up his week a couple weeks ago. So now Jodeci is going to have a residency in Las Vegas. It's going to be, I think, March through maybe June. It'll
Wow.
be in one of the other smaller hotels, but it's major. Obviously, we already know they knew their residency. So happening is there's a trend, obviously, to where now they're seeing the commercial viability of these groups. Keith Sweat had a residency a few years ago for about a week. So it's good that a lot of these people are making that transition to Vegas. It's good for them. Jodeci had a low profile for a long time, and it's good to see them do that. And of
Will it
course,
be all full
even though this is
members?
not a New Jack situation, but Wu Tang Clan's got a residency as well too.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, Stevie, it is all four members, and it was interesting that I interviewed Dalvin on a Sunday. Just that I wasn't 100% sure he was gonna. Yeah, I interviewed him after we finished, and they had the announcement on Tuesday. So he kept hinting about waiting to the announcement because I kept saying why it'll be great to have. Why doesn't Jodeci just do a tour by themselves? Why don't you do what a New Edition does? You could have Jodeci do their thing, then you can have Devante playing all his hits. The productions he's done with other people like Babyface does. Then you can have Casey and JoJo doing their thing. Dalvin does his solo stuff, and then you all come back. And I said, because you guys, you don't rest in the need to have opening acts, and he says wait until Tuesday. So it was almost a sense of yeah, we plan to do that. And what he also said was that when they went on their last tour, they built this, he did the design the set and had a piano for Devante, so that Devante could just come in, play for lately, and start doing some stuff. Yeah, he knows how to keep it secret. But so they had the opportunity for Devante to play his piano, and he gets on the drums. But Devante wasn't feeling it this time. But the plans are that the Vegas residency, they'll just be them. So I think it is strange that I would say what 10 years ago, if anyone says they're out in Vegas, it would be like, man, what happened to them? But now it feels like a money spinner. It seems like everyone wants to have a Vegas residency. So good luck for
What
them.
the thing is, the attitude has changed because before, you know, if you were going, Vegas has always been a domain of the, especially for contemporary acts. It's the place where contemporary acts go to die. That's the perception. But the thing is, Vegas is like the biggest entertainment. We're not talking about LA, we're not talking about New York, but in terms of entertainment as a whole. Vegas is the entertainment town of America, and that attitude has changed over the years to where obviously you got to credit Boys to Men for being one of the contemporary R&B groups that kind of like set the tone. You know, they were like the proving ground for that. So people are realizing, hey, I could go ahead and I can go do a show, you know, for 2 weeks or whatever, however long the residency is, and I'm good and I'm getting paid every night or
Mm,
whatever the financial arrangement is. So that's good.
yeah.
You know, these guys, as far as releasing music, you know, it's okay, but the music situation is kind of like almost secondary to the performance now. So it's good that they're out there.
Oh,
That's because you came down that chimney. That's chimney smoke you got there, man.
it's his mince pie. He's having acid reflux.
That's right.
That big mince
Exactly.
pie that he ate earlier.
Yeah. See that mince pie, that chimney smoke, Dominic.
Yeah. Now I was getting ready to say that the touring in the UK, SWV, 112, Joe, next. They're playing. They were in Birmingham Friday, yesterday in Manchester, and now in London today. Next year, Boys to Men are coming into the UK. Jaru and Ashanti, Blackstreet, Drew Hill. So it's good for the UK market that these R&B acts from the States are finally after COVID are coming over and touring. It's a really good situation. I I know I haven't gone to see any of them since they've been coming over, but I'm just glad at least that the R&B is getting the kind of attention here in the UK that it deserves. So definitely looking forward to that. Okay. Anything else just before we start to invite our community to come on board? Okay. So what is that? Is that Simone Biles or is it okay?
Samara Joy's
Joy.
new Christmas EP.
Okay. Who's that? Who is she?
She signed to Verve. I think we have kind of mentioned her before in a few podcasts, but she's like a jazz singer. She's got an incredible voice. But if you're gonna get a Christmas record this year, well, we're nearly at the end of the year. I'd highly recommend this. I noticed she performed at the Apollo in Harlem. I think it was last week. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
I've never been there. I'd love to go.
Yeah.
But I'd highly recommend that. And I'd recommend this as well. Gregory Porter has released, it's called
Oh wow.
Christmas.
Okay.
What's it called? Christmas Wish on Blue Note. Again, there's a track featuring Samara Joy on here as well, but it's very Nam, do you like Nat King Cole? This is as close as it gets, really.
Yeah, I seem
album that.
Yeah, it does look like Simone Biles.
Get yourselves in stores and get yourself a
Yeah,
get
so
yourself
someone else
a-
did. Yeah, it did look like Simone Biles there. Um, who is the Select Global? Um, he said, yeah, missed the female group stream, but wanted to get in. The climax is the greatest female group of all time. Does anyone agree with that?
Well, maybe join us live, Mr. Select or Mrs. Select, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, so as Stevie says, I'm going to post the link, and we're just going to get a few of you 90 seconds to come in and say hi and talk and stuff like that. Actually,
There's a new record by Maxine Jones from En Vogue. She's released an alternative Christmas record called "You Can't Have It." It's very hip hoppy, very East Coast hip hoppy sounding. There's some mixes on there.
Okay.
There's an interesting EP by a UK R&B group. There's 4 guys in the group. They're called No Guidance. And they've done a cover version of New Edition's what's the big ballad?
Can You Stand the Rain?
Yeah, they've done that, which is very
Okay.
interesting. And there's an EP by another R&B group called Chemistry, spelt with a K, from America. They've done the old "Let It Snow" and a few other bits on there. I noticed there's a lot of cover versions this year of "Let It Snow." I mean, you got to get that chorus right, haven't you? Really,
Yeah,
it's a big
but you know,
chorus. That it's the
but
bit that really hits you.
but it seems as if a lot of the groups that are coming out now are really recognizing how golden that the '90s sounds are, and maybe and really tapping back into that. You know, there was a time, I guess, in the '90s where everyone was had to do a Stevie Wonder remake or stuff like that. So it was almost like everyone's going back to the '80s. And Puffy, you know, when he was hot, he was sampling a lot of '80s music. And it seems as if, as Stevie said, some of these newer groups now, the younger guys, the younger people are remaking some of the late '80s, early '90s songs and almost trying to bridge that gap. So, but you know, as I said, if you saw the tour numbers in the US after pop and then rock, R&B came in third. So it more people saw R&B than they saw country and saw hip hop. So R&B tours and stuff is really that's really and as Mr. Dalvin says that actually Live Nation, they just didn't trust that these R&B guys could pull things off. But when the numbers, when they all sold out, it's like Live Nation says, "Wow, we didn't realize that." Especially there was a group called Black Concert Promoters Collective. There's a four big black promoters joined forces to form one big conglomerate, and they put out the Culture Tour and the Legacies Tour. They put out the Maxwell and Joe tour. They've put out some tours with even Anita Baker. And what's happened is that because the four of them have put their might together, they get in the big venues and they're selling selling out and doing numbers. And so Live Nation and others are taking note, and now they're the ones now they've pushed the Jodeci tour and they're realizing, okay, there's money in R&B. So I can see it only getting bigger and bigger over the next couple of years just because of the numbers that these other concert promoters are doing.
There's money in nostalgia, as they say, and if you're going to
Yeah.
reach to and say an over 35s age group that probably got a bit of spare cash to be able to afford to buy a ticket, then you got to tap into it. I see there's a new Beverly Hills Cop movie coming on Netflix in the
Yeah.
new year as well. I've seen the trailer to that. It looks quite good actually. Old Eddie Murphy is Grace there, and they've got the old cast out, the cops that was with him, and that could be all right actually. But just again, I was drawn into the
Yeah.
nostalgia factor of it. They got the logos up from the 80s, and that's what we
Yeah.
want to see,
I mean,
innit?
hopefully they do. Yeah, hopefully they'll even get a soundtrack. But what you're saying is true that the over 35s have the disposable cash and they want to see their acts. So R&B made with hip hop was only about 4% of touring, and this is on Billboard magazine. So this isn't a bias. So Billboard magazine released the data. So hip hop that seems to be dominating the charts, less than 5% of the concert goers went to see a hip hop concert. R&B was
Well, what's
15.
happening is that what's happening is on the rap side of the game is that the artists who have like the big records that are out, they don't necessarily translate on stage. So a lot of those like current acts, they're canceling shows or whatever because they can't sell out. And just kind of to piggyback off of what Stevie said is that when you're dealing with a 35, 40 and over crowd, that's how it's always been. Is that that's been the ones where they have disposable income, the 40, 50, 60 year olds. And it's less about, they've kind of aged out from buying the music, a lot of them.
Mm.
And it's about the touring. So now, remember now, this 90s music is the equivalent, like what you said, Namdi, is the equivalent of what 70s music was maybe the people my age. Now the people who are, their parents were listening to 90s music. Of course, there's the 90s music fans. So that outlet there, like you said, shows that there is a market for it. And Live Nation has always been funny about that. Charlie Wilson talked about how he would approach Live Nation as a backer, and they would tell him is that he wasn't big enough because Charlie Wilson was playing like the mid-sized theaters. He wasn't doing the arenas, and they were telling him that he wasn't big enough. So it's like a system that they have in
Mm.
place to where you have to. It's like a wait and see type thing.
Yeah.
So once they see the numbers, then of course they're going to go ahead and want to do business with you, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And I'm glad that because the R&B artists need to be. Before it was the package, like maybe 10 groups.
Yeah.
That still goes on now. But I'm glad that the '90s artists are going to be good to have the platform that they have. You see Jodeci, they have a band. New Edition has a band. Keith Sweat has a band.
Yeah.
SWV has a band. Anybody else coming after that, it's going to be a little bit different. But again, I think the cutoff is going to be the next level, early 2000s, and then what happens after that, I really don't know. But
Yeah.
you're going to see that surge continue.
But I guess, as I said, just before we invite everyone to join in, there is a difference between. So you had the Earth, Wind and Fire and Lionel Richie. So that's a tour bringing in the numbers. You had the Culture Tour and the Legacy Tour. So those type of multi-city tours are what's taking the R&B numbers high. Not the every week you'd see a few group that 8 groups show up playing in Milwaukee one day, then in 2 weeks time they're playing in Chicago, those little spot days. So that's not, that doesn't make the numbers that much because it's just a couple of, just a promoter putting up a show. But when they are doing these multi-city tours like that, that's really making a massive difference. But anyway, guys, actually we want to get you guys to come in, so I'm going to post. We've not done this before, so fingers crossed it's going to work. So right now, this is the link to what to join us in. And as I said, you've got about the 90 seconds, say your stuff. And after that, we may have to kick you out after it. But anyway,
Depends how many people want to join, really.
yeah. So as I said, you can click on that link. Anyone that wants to join and just say a few words and get involved, click on the link, and then we'll
Yeah,
bring you in
tell
and
us a
stuff.
few of your favourite New Jack Swing records.
Yeah, yeah. Few of your tracks. So what's been your favorite episode of this podcast? What's been what your thoughts about it? So, it would be great to see someone join us because we've been planning this all week and rehearsing it. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it may be your favorite episode that you've had or whatnot. Um, or even your favorite interviews that you've seen with us. I didn't realize how much I really enjoyed the interview we had with Idris. It's almost as if he was trying to cram a lot in such a short period of time. I wish we had a chance to break it down as he was going through so much of that New Jack Swing history. I never knew that the girls from Astrak were in the Groove Me video. I mean, that flew me because I've always seen the girls in there. Um, okay, Foxy, do you want to join in? So as I said, that's the link, and I'm going to pin it. That's the that is the this is the link to join us. Anyone just want to click and get invited in to have a few words and stuff like that. Okay, like the Father MC interview. Yeah, Father MC. I always used to say he was the first artist that gave me an interview, and in a way launched the whole thing. Um, and we're gonna get him on New Jack Swing podcast in the new year because he's got a lot of things happening. So it's gonna be great to get him on. Um, but yeah, okay. While we wait for somebody to be, actually, Steve, I thought a lot of people would just be clicking at the same time. We would have to balance it, but I don't know if is it anyone feeling brave. I've just put in the link. If you just click on it, you are going to be able to come on in and join us. Maybe you're just setting, and once you've clicked on it, you may have to set things up, but it would be good to see some of you join us.
Maybe some of the regulars are not. I've noticed a few of the regulars, but there's a lot missing tonight. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
as I mentioned, Colin's 18th daughter, then also Big Mike and some are at the Wembley, the R&B concert. SWV 112 next. Okay, who have we got here? We got Foxy and how you doing, Foxy?
Good
Good
evening.
evening. Greetings, everyone.
Evening.
Hello.
Merry Christmas.
And same to you. Oh my goodness. First of all, good brother, I've just kind of been binging the past like couple of hours. I didn't even know your podcast existed, and great content. I caught the Elder Barge, I caught the Brights Wilson.
Okay.
And I kind of got a little bit of the Jodeci with Mr. Dalvin. So I'm kind of going back a couple of years and working my way up. And they are definitely in my watch list, and so I have to wait, like break it down a couple of minutes, and then come back to it because I'm like, wait, there's just too much information here. Like, it's awesome. My head is spinning. I saw the DJ Cassidy, like, awesome material. Keep going with this. This is the culture needs it. We need to hear from the ones that are like the unsung that we don't get to hear from as often.
Totally.
I'm coming from New York City, and I grew up in that era. I was born in Harlem. I was raised in the Bronx.
Wow.
I'm still in the Bronx. And so, yeah, like the New Jack City era was definitely as we would say, a dope era. Great dance material. Yeah, Father MC. That was kind of like the beginning of New Jack, I would say, with Mary J. Blige singing in the background. Definitely Guy, Teddy Riley. I mean, he's amazing producer, and so I don't know about singing so much, but definitely awesome producer. So yeah, Guy would be my New Jack swing kind of go to.
Yeah, I think for well, I mean, first of all, I mean, we're all three of us are privileged that you've joined us, and for the compliment. We've all been big fans of New Jack Swing, R&B, and for us to be able to talk to these people and hear their story and celebrate them, and not look for the dirt, but just really understand how challenging it was for them, coming out from nothing to get hit big time, and trust a lot of people with all their talents, and get sort of taken advantage of. I mean, there's one, if you want to, Timmy Gatlin, the guy who's in the guy who wrote all the songs with Guy. Just as the album comes out, he gets kicked out because he didn't want to sign away his publishing. He was the one interview that I've had that actually almost, it almost floored me just to listen to that. So, yeah, I mean, and all three of us, Teddy Riley is our favorite producer, although in our top 10 list, we kind of had things differently. But anyway, he is our favorite producer. So we're privileged that, you've been watching and supporting us.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing work that all you gentlemen are doing, and again, to the people that we don't hear too much from, I love that you're highlighting them. Yeah, and the ones that we do hear, we see more in mainstream, but like, just to hear the stories is awesome, and and growing up in that experience. I mean, I'm 47. And so, I was a little thing, but my mom, we would play R&B. So I listened to that. I had also, Hispanic influence as well. So Hector Lavoe, Santana was playing in my house, like Saturday mornings. Like, when you'll hear some New Yorkers say that, like, my mom would put on the music on Saturdays to start cleaning. And yeah, that's what we were listening to. And then we had WBLS, which is one of our major radio stations, that would play a lot of the R&B, before Hot 97 and before Kiss FM kind of went more into the hip hop genre. WBLS, Frankie Crocker, Ken Webb, that's where we're hearing a lot of the R&B, a lot of classics. And then they started playing like what we would call hip hop, or it was really rap. And so we had a lot of that, and the fact that you guys can bring these our unsung heroes or heroes back to the forefront is awesome. So I thank you again. I don't want to take up too much time, but I appreciate you all, and keep going forward. See you in 2024.
Yeah,
We
we
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Oh, that was
Wow,
awesome.
what a great gift.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about the Bronx and stuff. I mean, I'm in here in the UK, so to
Well,
hear about the
she was in the heart of it at the time it
yeah.
was coming out. So
Mm,
there you go.
hey, Amanda Hawk, come on. Yeah, you've been down since day one, so you gotta, as I said, here's you gotta click on and come and say your piece. Um, yeah, that's the link. So you guys click on it and join in. We just want to thank Foxy Moon for blessing us. I mean, it's one thing for us to see you guys make comments, but to be able to come on in and share this stuff with us, you have to understand. Stevie and Sheldon who are here. These guys, I met them just like everyone else here, and for me, it's a lot of work sometimes to do a lot of this stuff, but to have people say, yeah, they enjoyed this, that keeps it going. I mean, I have to sometimes do this at midnight. The El Jabard one, I think I was up at 1 a.m. just to try and get this stuff sorted out. But the fact that people watch and appreciate and support, because it's a lot of work. So you guys, you have no idea how much you make this stuff happen. It's not just because I enjoyed. It's not because of anything other than I know that there are people that love to hear this stuff. And every time I'm sitting in front of somebody, I'm thinking, who else? This would be a story that everyone will enjoy. So, I just encourage you guys just to continue what you're doing. It just makes a difference. It makes it happen.
I mean, we found out this year. We found out so much stuff that we never knew. It's just a shame that we've had to find it out 30 years later. Really.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's who was it? I was talking to somebody, and I said, they asked me, yeah, Fred. Somebody asked me how long do I prepare for the interview, like to research, and I said I do a quick 10-minute Wikipedia search 10 minutes before the interview starts, because if I know too much, then I'm just going to ask basic questions. But what we try and learn to do is like, well, what was it like doing all this stuff? I mean, Stevie is the encyclopedia with all the singles and remixes, and you ask questions that even they like. Damn, I didn't realize I did that stuff. But it is they're getting asked stuff that no one else asks them. You know, Mr. Dalvin doesn't hardly does interviews, and he was saying, "Look, man, I like the fact that you ask questions and you put me in situations where I've got to think." So as I said, it is a team effort, and you guys who watch and comment are amazing, major part of that. So, as I said, here's the link. You guys come on in. I can't imagine that at work.
There always has been there is a community still out there for this, and it does go back to when the early 2000s, when I do mention it, NGS4E, when that started up, and it did build for several years a community of people that just wanted to talk about New Jack Swing, that remembered it, didn't want to forget about it, and it has kind of continued that. We're all sparsed out in different areas of the world, but we've all got a common place where at least you can come and talk to people, talk to like-minded people, and just like you say, it's nostalgia, a bit of reminiscing, bit of comfort food.
Yeah.
You're living your lives, you're working, you're doing this, that, and the other. You've all got responsibilities, but you just need that time of the week or time of the month where you I just need to go back to a time that was my life was, say, really good. Where it was, where I was a bit more free, I could enjoy stuff. We've got that. We're very lucky to have that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I During the lockdown when this started, I used to assume that all these artists were millionaires making millions of dollars, and it wasn't until they all started talking about, oh, we didn't get our publishing, we signed bad record deals. Um, Tabitha of Cut Close had to get a job as a nanny when she was when she left, when the cut close deal got stopped. I mean, that didn't make sense to me. Like, wait a minute, that had all these hit records, touring, things shut down, and you go and get a job as a nanny. Lily said she almost took suicide. I mean, it as I said, I'm like, wait a minute, you guys would having all these doing these videos and not making the money. And I think that's the thing that you never knew during the 90s when they were on TV what was happening. Donnell Jones was talking about how Eddie F told him about the publishing and started giving him work. If not, he could have been like everyone else, because he says, he didn't have any money and he didn't know anything. So yeah. Okay, Hawk, what's going on? You said you're having trouble connecting. If you just click on it, it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, and who else is gonna, Fox Moon has shown you guys how to come on. As soon as you log in. Okay, we got a man here. How you doing, brother?
What's happening with you, player?
It's good to be able to finally meet you. So
Indeed, young man, indeed. Indeed. It's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all.
Good evening.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Street, Mr. Taylor.
He's been down since I would say from
Hey,
from
how you
down
doing?
Timmy
Good
Gaffney
evening,
from
good
the very
evening.
beginning. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. Any words you've got about any reflections you have?
Wow. I first jumped on watching Father MC, because it was just like, yo, where has he been? You know what I mean? You hadn't seen him I hadn't seen him since the '90s, and then
Wow.
and watching some of the interviews and whatever, you get the inside track on what some of these cats have been up to. But more importantly, for me being a big music head, and I grew up in the country. And when I say the country, I mean like the country that people used to pick at, like with no stoplights and like farmland and stuff like that.
Wow.
So when Big was talking about Word Up Magazine and all that type of stuff, that was, to me, that was you guys. So Word Up, Rap Masters, Right On, all those types of things. That was my information. You know what I mean? So as you get older, and those publications start coming out a little bit more, um, where I told you your interviews fill in the blanks of where Jet fell off, or Source didn't ask these questions, or some or interviewer they just didn't ask these questions, or the artist might not feel comfortable enough to answer the questions that the interviewer does ask, and for whatever reason, they'll come on your show and they're comfortable and they just start talking, and then it's just like, oh, I remember when I read about this part in, say, a Sister to Sister magazine. I don't know if y'all remember that back in the day, but
Yes.
they used to be like the gossip, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I remember that when that popped off. Okay, so I'm listening. So that's why that happened. Okay, so now you get to fill in the blanks, and it's like, okay, now you get the backstory to some of these songs, and it's just like, okay, now these songs mean a little bit more. So you might be introduced to something that you never even heard, that came out 30 years ago on an album that you have, that you just overlooked. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's really crazy, but it's really dope. That these people, they get to come up here and they get to tell their stories. Because I never knew. I don't recall ever knowing what Tammy Lucas ever looked like. To be perfectly honest,
Yeah.
but she's the voice of New Jack, and it's like, how do y'all not know her story? Why don't we know this information? You know what I'm saying? And so for her to be able to come out and tell her story, and to give those inside details as to why this popped off, or to give the early story of a Neptune's, and because I used to pass by Future Studios and just try to find out, just looking, trying to see who might be over there. They might be outside playing ball or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I did the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? I used to go to school in Norfolk State, so it was nothing to pass by Future. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's real awesome, and I'm really appreciative of you guys, take your time and your talents to get these interviews and to get these, to get this information out to cats like me who are still interested in cats from that time, from that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. I mean, as I said, it's I mean, each Stevie's an encyclopedia. Sheldon's is a historian, and and for me, I don't have the knowledge and the wisdom that these guys have when it comes to the music and the singles and stuff. But the only thing I'm able to probably do is just to probably make them forget that there's a camera and
Mm-hmm.
they're talking to a complete stranger. But when combined with these guys, there's lots of stuff that we try and cover. But and as I said, for us, it's like a hobby. I mean, every episode we have, Stevie brings out a suitcase of singles and albums and stuff. And if we don't train Sheldon, he'll bring out go back to the 50s and explain how this person did that. But as you said, it is you don't want to wait until somebody passes away to say, oh yeah, they were great. You want to be able to give them. And there's, as I said, there's so many people that we talk about Tammy Lucas. I'd never seen how she looked before.
Mm-hmm.
People like Sprague or Mucho. You know, he,
You know I'm a big fan of Diesel. You know I'm a champion for Diesel. You know that.
yeah. I mean, it's my only regret was the fact that Diesel passed away a few months before I started this. That's my biggest regret and stuff. But yeah, but we definitely appreciate. Yeah, we definitely appreciate. As I said, I know you've been down since But the fact when from day one, been commenting and putting stuff up there, and so yeah, definitely appreciate all the support that you've been giving us.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I'm really looking forward to what else y'all got in the store. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. There's a lot
Yeah,
back there. I'm still waiting on Big Bub. Bub is coming.
yeah. You
He's
know
coming.
what?
We hope.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be yeah. So I mean, yeah. So there'll be a hard push in the new year for Bob. So yeah, don't worry. He knows everyone's told him, and he's slowly getting out. I think some of them are afraid of the fact that I spent 2 hours with them. So,
Oh
but
wow,
Bob and Akil, they both So those are my priority targets in the new year. So
that's what's
with
up.
Crystal
Yeah,
Williams as well.
for real.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us in today, though.
No doubt. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having
All
me.
the best, sir. All the best.
Like,
Thank you all.
Peace.
Appreciate your support, man. Thank you.
Indeed, fellas.
wow.
Another great guest.
Yes.
I'm liking the beads and the Flavor Flav thing he was wearing there. It's very I like it.
Yeah, but you know what? I never got to go down to Future. I never. Did you? So Sheldon, you drove past Future Records in Virginia Beach. Sheldon, are you
Yeah,
there?
and as I remember, can you hear me? Yeah, I was
Yeah, you can hear you
in
now.
Virginia. I got friends that live in Virginia, so I moved to Virginia one year. It might have been 98 or something like that, and I did a detour. And I had drove at the time I was living in Louisiana, and I drove all night to go to Virginia. So instead of driving directly to where my friends lived, I did a detour and drove to Virginia Beach. And I remember down Virginia Beach Boulevard trying to find um the Future Studios. And I kept driving right. And the way it is, it's like I don't want to say it's secluded, but if you don't know it's there, you will drive by. And I remember driving by PA High School, Princess Anne High School, where the Neptunes went, and it was right next door.
Okay.
It was right next door, and I remember pulling. I remember pulling over in the phone booth because I had the number to Future, and I remember pulling in a phone booth and making a phone call, but nobody picked the phone up. But yeah, I remember. Yeah.
What was you gonna say? What was you gonna say if they did pick the phone up, Sheldon?
So what?
What
What
was
were
you
you
going
Say
to
what?
say if you picked the phone up? What was you going
Hey,
to say?
I was like, hey, was the same. I wasn't trying to get in the music business back then, but I was really a major fan. I was just starting to do some writing or whatever, and I just, just wanted to meet him and just uh, talk to him about the music and the studio and everything. And of course, nobody picked up, so I guess nobody was there. It was in the morning, about 9 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah,
nobody was there. But I remember,
yeah. I remember writing to Teddy to wish him a happy Merry Christmas back in 93, 95, and I got a card back from Future Studios saying
Wow,
Merry Christmas to you, and he
wow.
had the half face, how the Teddy, the little man stuff. I
the
don't know how
logo,
oh goodness,
yeah.
I cherished that card. It was like this was my piece of history. I cherished it. Guys, we've had Funky Moon and we've had D Hawk, a man named Hawk, join us live. Everyone else, as I said, this is the link. Just click on. Okay, who we got here?
Got somebody else. Wow.
Yes. Hello.
Guys,
How are you doing?
It's interesting because I'd seen your comments. I thought you was a guy.
Oh,
oh my gosh,
yeah.
wow. Because you don't
Wow,
speak
that's a
French, that's
revelation.
why.
Yeah, you hit us with those comments or whatever.
No, who told you I'm not a bloke, actually? No, actually.
How you doing? We're
Um,
blessed to have you on.
can you hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, well, no, I'm not a man
Of course.
for now. Well, it's lovely to see you all again. And really lovely to speak with you guys. I really love your program. I don't know how I've managed to get on it, really, because it's quite hard. But as soon as I started following you guys, YouTube, I started all the algorithms, and I'm getting everything 90s R&B. This is really, really good. And there's this Japanese guy who's recorded all the I'm not from the US, so I don't know what it's called, but there was some sort of soul program from back in the days. He's recorded them all and just playing them on YouTube, so that's wonderful. So yes, thank you so much. I love the interviews. I love the way you interview, and especially during this time where you get so much trash during the interview, so much gossip, so much who slept with who, etc., etc. I just love all the interviews. I love the way you listen to people. They're a bit heartbreaking when you hear about the business aspect of everything, how people get screwed over and over and over. And I'm from the industry. Well, not from the industry, but I'm a lawyer and been a music lawyer for like 20 years. So it's a bit sad, but still enjoyable. And also lived mainly in the UK and France. I'm in France right now because my husband doesn't speak English very well. And and as I grew up in France, it was really, really, really hard to get anything R&B or New Jack. And it was like, you have to be Jen Bond's mate to really get information, to get the videos, and they were super quality. They were like burnt again and again and again and again. And so yeah, it's really, really cool too. And I was very, very small as well. The reason why I'm not as, I'm not too old, so I had big brothers. So I really got interested in what they were listening to. So I really, really got into it, but I was very small still. So I'm very happy to get the hindsight and to hear everybody tell their story, because in my time, so those people were like untouchable, unreachable. They were like, from another planet doing great stuff, It's like the Motown days. Like if you hear that Diana Ross grew up in the projects, I just couldn't believe it. For me, she came from another planet, and that's it. So yeah, I just love it. I just enjoy it. I have a lot of work, but usually on Sunday evening, I've got my computer here, and I just like typing stupid comments and just doing work. It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem to you seem to know your stuff. You put a lot of artists in there, lists, and all sorts of things.
Yeah, I'm crazy about music. I'm totally crazy about that time. Not so much about New Jack Swing. Like the up tempo stuff is really, it's not too much. I like the mid tempo, minor chords type of, 93 to 97 music. But Guy, I don't know them too much. New Edition, I didn't know them before. Home Again. I knew the artists individually, and I love Belle Biv DeVoe's Hootie Mac.
Oh my god!
I love that again. I mean, don't listen to the lyrics though, because they're terrible. But the music is great.
Wow.
So yeah, and I went to so many. I mean, I went to so many concerts. I remember I went to see Jodeci in '95. I was totally crazy about Jodeci. I first heard them. I mean, I heard them, when they released Forever My Lady. But then you have the Motown MTV Unplugged, and you could hear. I mean, everybody was so good, but then they had this sort of, don't call it medley, but you had this sort of everybody in song, Next Up Uptown. And when they started singing just after Mary J. Blige, I was like, oh, wow. I mean, they're actually better than all of those great singers. So I became like a die-hard fan of Jodeci. And I remember seeing them in '95 in Paris, and it was snowing, and I got to the venue at like 1 p.m. I had a math class, and I just skipped it. I was like, bye-bye, I'm going to Jodeci concert. And I was waiting in the snow for like hours and hours with my friends.
Wow.
And then when I got back home, I had like no voice whatsoever. That was totally crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I really love that era, '93 to '97. When the Timberland sound came in, I sort of switched off really.
Wow.
And then I moved to jazz. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, but as I said, you've been a real big part of our New Jack Swing podcast, because we all see you commenting and adding your voice there, and as I said, that really helps does make the show and stuff. That's why probably Stephen, we all thought, yeah, okay, yeah.
No, so you be kinder to me now, and I'm a lady.
Yeah, no.
And I love Sheldon as well, because he brings things. I mean, there's an era for me. New Jack is a bit like the New Jack Swing era is how many years is that? Is that 4 years or 5 maybe?
Yeah.
So
about 5. Yeah, about 5.
Yeah, and I think the early '80s as well. There was like a post soul music at the same time as disco. You had some sort of '80s soul that to me is very obscure. And I think Sheldon, you seem to master that era as well.
Thank you.
So
when you said you started listening like '93, so I guess New Jack Swing started to kind of fade in '92, '93. So that's where you picked it up at.
The first time I listened to New Jack Swing was listening to Dangerous by Michael Jackson. And then I was like, oh, Teddy Riley, I like him. It's cool, So I like Teddy Riley, but I think had New Jack Swing been in '95 or later, it's just not my thing. Even if I listen to it now, like the up tempo, it's not really. But anything from Jodeci, I would say, even the first Jodeci album is great, but the very fast songs, they're not my favorite songs. I prefer the Vante Dalvin productions in the second album, Diary of a Mad Band.
So you like the hip hop soul stuff of the mid '90s then?
I do, and the hip hop as well. The hip hop only and the hip hop soul, yeah.
Wow. But anyway, I mean,
it's a great time period, the mid '90s. Brilliant time period for stuff. We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We're so spoiled, for stuff.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. No, I really enjoy listening to you guys. I love the chart, and I tend not to agree with you most of the time. So
that's the whole point, is to get a bit of listener participation. We can't. It's no good agreeing with everybody, is it? Because it'll just get boring then.
Yeah, Exactly. Yeah. No, it's fun. I really enjoy listening to you guys and debating and chatting as well. While I'm working, and I'm like, oh gosh, I've not really worked that much. But anyway, I do have a good laugh. And the interviews. I mean, the interviews, they're really really good. There are many artists that I've never really listened to, like Cut Close. I was never really into Cut Close,
Oh,
but that lady that you interviewed, she was so
Tabitha, yeah,
funny.
she formed the group. Yeah, Tabitha Duncan.
Yeah, she was so funny and she was so real, and she had learned as well from whatever she's experienced, but not only her mistakes, but what other people were doing. So I thought that was really beyond the music. As a human being, I thought she was great. And
Yeah.
That's a great
and
album from that period you like, actually, 95. That Cut Close album. I don't know if you've heard that album, but it's a really that 93, 97, just in the middle there.
yeah,
Good album that.
yeah. To be fair, if I look at my taste in music, I don't really listen to female singers that much.
I
My
see.
favorite singers are Sade, Kate Bush, Johnny, and Nina Simone and Ella Fitzgerald. I think that's it. They're the ones I'd be like, oh my gosh. But other than that, I think they put too much aesthetic into music when they sing, whereas male singers tend to just sing with their voice, and women try to. And I've noticed as well, you guys, when you talk about female singers, start talking about looks. I've never heard you speaking about looks when it comes to male singers, and so female singers actually play a lot on looks, and the voice as well tends to be um, a different voice. I love Mariah Carey as well. I don't think she made it in the top
I
10.
think female singers who can't say they haven't got a really great voice, but they look great. I think they play, like you say, they play up to that more. I think maybe they're told
Yeah,
to mask the fact that they're not really a great singer.
yeah. And there's also the fact that they tend to write less. They're more like performers than men.
Yeah.
You find more men that are songwriters.
Yeah.
And so when you sing the songs that you write, maybe there's more meaning in the performance than if you don't write them yourself.
If the female singer was maybe overtly more sexual, let's just say, being very family orientated here, maybe it's to mask the fact that they couldn't really sing that well, so they had to.
No. The industry. I mean, I know the industry quite well, and it just forces you to be like that.
Fair enough then.
Yeah, it just forces you to
Yeah,
be
the
like that. I
male
mean,
is male
you can
dominated.
always say no, but
Yeah.
yeah. Even if you look at Michelle Cello, she loves playing the bass. People don't, the industry doesn't like that. They put so much pressure on her to look pretty or to look tortured, like she made a corner, but sing, and she had like a jazz album, and she was not singing at all. And people are like, oh, we're losing you now. So I think, in this world, if you're female, then first of all, they'll flatter you, and they'll tell you all sorts of things. And then also, to be fair, a lot of female singers get into the business to be adulated, for their looks and singing. If you look at the reason why people get into the music business, I would say there's always been a need to become famous rather than to become a great musician or performer. But the thing is, the only way you could become a great musician or performer you could be famous to be a great musician or performer back then. That was the that was the gate. Now you can look good, you can have like an Instagram account, and I always said, and that's controversial, but I thank Kim Kardashian for that, because people who want to be famous now can go to Instagram. They don't have to do music. So
Okay.
people who love music can now do music.
Yeah. Goodness. I mean, we appreciate the fact that you've come on, and actually that you're part of our weekly little gist and stuff. And yeah, as I said, in the new year, we've got another lot of weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly group of top tens, and we're going to be disagreeing and going back and forth. But the show is always made up of us who are on screen and you guys who are off screen contributing to, and so we definitely appreciate that you came over.
May I have a query regarding the top 10s though? Could you like narrow the scope to a music genre? Because we have like a top 10 for New Jack, and then you get some like 60 singers somewhere.
Yeah,
then you get Madonna, you know.
Madonna, yeah.
At
Oh, yeah.
number one.
If we had to tell you, it was you.
We're being told off here, guys. We're being told off here.
It was you that said about Madonna. Yes, I remember now. Goodness. We appreciate
No,
it.
I'm just joking. It's funny. It's all fun. Nothing serious about it. But yeah, and anything Joe to see, I'm very happy for the Dalvin interviews as well. It's great, you know. Yeah, I wish I had more time to listen to them all, but the only time I give myself that Sunday evening where I can actually chit chat with you guys and say stupid things and disagree with you.
You got to spend, take a bit of time to look after your companion sat on the couch right in the corner over there as well.
Paddington.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've got my toddler sleeping actually, but it's not sleeping very well now. But yeah, he's a new Jack person.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so he listens to the music. Maybe he's going to be a Jodeci fan. Who knows? But he loves Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's my number one. And also Namdi. I've got something in common with you. The Lady in My Life is my number one Michael Jackson song.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if I look at the list, it's Donnell Jones, it is Pamela Long. So there, and I think both Nelly, no, not Nelly, Neo and Maxwell. So it is. I don't know why people can't think of it, how beautiful that song is, but yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, no, we thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, we definitely thank you for your continued support with every single one of you. And yeah, we've got a lot in the new year that we're definitely going to be arguing and debating about. But yeah, well, thanks for even coming on this evening.
Thank you so much. And I'll be sending stupid messages again now.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your support. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Wow. Another great guest. Where do you keep
Yeah.
finding them, Namdi?
Yeah, no, but this is our
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
yeah. I mean, I think sometimes I think sometimes we just forget. And as I said, yeah, we'll put up our list of what we're going to be doing next in the new year and stuff. But definitely,
I found a great Christmas CD, the Soul Train Christmas Starfest.
Okay, who was on it?
On my shirt, it's a compilation. It's got Boys to Men on it, Let It Snow. It's got some Luther Vandross, Every Year, Every Christmas. Simone Hines, As Yet, En Vogue. Natalie Cole, Immature. Stevie Wonder, New Edition. This Christmas, It's All Over the World. James Brown, Kirk Franklin, and Johnny Gill. Give Love on Christmas Day. You can find it. When did this come out? 1997.
Wow. Okay.
Soul Train compilation of Christmas.
So it must have been the artist who actually came on Soul Train to perform those songs.
Well, it's the studio versions. It is the studio versions, but possibly,
I would have.
I don't know if all these artists actually came on Soul Train and did these, but it's just a good Christmas compilation that I found.
I don't know. I mean, I've not done much Christmas stuff this time around. I know Brandy had a Christmas album that came out. I don't know how well that did.
Yeah, it's strong. It's a strong set. It's quite short, but it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else wants to join on? Just click on that link where that's been pinned and come on in. Just
your favorite male singer did. Sheldon did an incredible Christmas album in, was it 1987, 88? Alexander O'Neill.
No, his favorite is Teddy Pettingham.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's released a Christmas Teddy Pendergrass. He's just part of Christmas album actually.
Yeah, he re-released some songs. Yeah. I saw them on Instagram. Speaking of Brandy, Brandy's currently in the Christmas movie on Netflix. She's
What's it
acting
called?
in.
That
Oh man, I can't remember the name of it, but when you go on Netflix, you'll see a picture. She's
all
like
right.
the star. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I did see it. I did see it. I think let me see Christmas movie. Christmas movie Brandy. It's called Best Christmas Ever.
Yeah, that's what it
Um,
is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yes, Best Christmas Ever. But yeah. Anyone else wants to join on in? It's been
I can
for
actually,
it,
I can recommend you a good Christmas movie. Actually, it's shot in London in the UK. It's called Last Christmas. The soundtrack is predominantly Wham and George Michael, but it's
okay.
really good. It's a bit of a tearjerker movie at the end. I won't give it away, but it's on Netflix. It's called Last Christmas. Really good film.
Okay.
Is it a new film?
No, it's been out a few years. I actually just went. I went to the cinema to see it about 3 years
Okay.
ago. But they have put it on Netflix. I hope it's still there actually, because I can watch it
Oh,
again.
2019. Okay, 2019. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's I hope we're gonna get some music, some soundtracks, especially as you mentioned that Beverly Hills Cop 3. I mean, I'd hope that they would. I mean, yes, Stevie, you were talking about the Color Purple soundtrack.
Oh yes.
I mean, have you listened
I've
to
not.
that?
There's 37 tracks on it. How do you
Wow.
get through 37 tracks? I mean, the only real track that I had time for was from the Afrobeat show, which is produced by Dark Child and features
Okay.
a new upcoming artist called Constance out of Lagos. She's an amazing talent, young talent. But that had like an
37 tracks.
Afrobeat feel to it. There's some Mary J. Blige. There's a Mary J. Blige track on it. There's some Usher. There's all sorts of stuff on the soundtrack. It's a lot to get through.
Yeah. I mean, one reason you could be happy that they're coming up with a soundtrack, but I think that's 737. That's quite a handful of songs, though. I mean, you could have too many. I think that's one of the things I didn't like about the 90s, the mid 90s, was that they started having 15 tracks on an album. It was just like sometimes you could be overkill. That's why I loved the late 80s, where it was like 8 to 10 songs, and it was like, just make them so.
Well,
37 seems like a lot.
it's interesting. I mean, there's a new for fans of Nicki Minaj, for example. There's a new Nicki Minaj album on the online streaming version. Is 22 tracks, which is what you'd expect. But they've released a CD. There's only 10 tracks on the CD from it.
Okay.
But and it probably lasts about half an hour the CD. But if they had, why didn't they put them on the CD? I don't know. But I'm sure Nicki Minaj fans are probably not happy about that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there is
Most of her
a
fans are streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of her fans are streaming fans. But whatever it is, the album is doing pretty well for it to have just come out. It's doing well.
Yeah. And the interludes in the mid-90s were quite useless. Get the comment in there from our last guest.
Yeah.
I enjoyed some of the interludes on the first Jodeci album. You know, the one where they're in the phone booth. I kind of like that interlude.
Okay.
Do you remember that interlude where they're talking to some? He's trying to ring some girl up, and then you get the operator, and then it goes into the track "My Phone." I thought that was quite a clever interview, but then you get like H Town's second album, and you're getting like 10 interludes. Like, oh, it was by about 1995, it was interlude overdrive, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just didn't like it. That's why I said I loved the 112 debut album. No real interludes there. I mean, I don't know why. I think the reasons why they had 16 songs on an album was because you couldn't copy those albums because it was the size of them. I just think they were putting too much stuff on them.
Maybe in a year's time, when we get really desperate for an episode idea, we could do our top 10 interludes.
No, top 10 interlude tracks. Yeah. Yeah. I think Jodeci, Dalvin said that they are in the midst of starting their biopic, and there is a hint that they may start recording new music around around that time. Okay, who we got here? Who we got here?
Oh, got a new
Yep.
guest. Wow.
Yeah,
Hello.
how
Hello,
are you
sir.
doing?
Hey,
Hi. Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good evening.
Doing well, doing well.
doing
So, what
well,
name?
doing
What
well.
I know
Yeah.
you're Tony, but what name do you go by on YouTube? That if we've seen you.
Uh, New Park, I guess. New Park.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, have you been watching us for long?
Yes, I have. I've seen a lot of your interviews and just watching some of your New Jack podcasts. I've caught up on a lot of your top 10.
Okay.
Some, yeah, some have been interested.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
appreciate it. We appreciate it. I mean, as I said, what you would notice is all three of us. You know, Stevie is a New Jack Swing encyclopedia. Sheldon is an R&B historian, and I'm just in the middle of listening to both of them and trying to just be provide unique and stuff. But yeah, I mean, as I said, what's been your favorite thing that you've seen or watched or
Yeah, the new edition one was quite good, of
okay?
course. And I think the top, was it the top male and top female? They've all been good. They've been all been bringing back memories when going through the list and some of the stories. Like I said, especially where we with the New Jack, of course, with Teddy.
Mm,
I've been a Teddy fan for years. Because I originally from Nigeria, so in Lagos, it was I think from '88 where I heard what was it, Groove Me,
mm,
and so what used to happen, I had a brother who was in the States. He's about 6 years older than me. So he used to send CDs back to me in Lagos.
Wow.
So I had sometimes he'll send like 14 CDs to me immediately. So I was like an encyclopedia with all my friends. So uh, checking all the credits of the CDs, I'll see Teddy, Teddy, Teddy. Oh, okay.
yeah,
And of course, his name was being called out on the
on
Bobby
record.
Brown track, yeah,
Yeah.
all that
Was
track.
there any
So it's like, okay,
like nightlife spots back in Lagos back then that were actually playing that stuff? I don't know if you can remember or that you went to or
yeah, that time I was a bit too young
okay.
for the nightlife, but it was just really me sitting down at home and just listening to CDs at home. Then also, my dad was he was a child entertainer. He had this business and he had a couple of DJs. I don't know where they were getting all the LPs from, so it was just LPs entertaining. So that was another conduit for music for me. So it was just a house full of music. So I
Wow.
was like the go-to person for music. Uh,
Mm.
so it was happy times, and yeah, so catching up with you guys just brings back a lot of memories and a lot of all the this music that you talk about. It's
Yeah, I mean, like
quite good.
yourself. I mean, yeah, my parents and I went to boarding school at Ijaniki in Lagos,
Ah,
and during the early '90s, there was you go to house parties and they're playing somebody for me or they're playing
yeah,
in the heat of the moment and you're just going crazy and then guy in my fantasy was teaching Teddy Riley and then he was
yeah,
doing
yeah,
so I was like that's how I got into Teddy. I'm talking about back in Nigeria, like who's this Teddy Riley stuff
yeah,
and that's how I became hooked on anything he did. He's the one person who has been elusive to come on, but there are reasons why. Maybe because, yeah, as I said, there are reasons why he hasn't come on yet. But he's been very much everyone who tells him to come on, he has said not yet. So it could be 2024, but yeah, we're all massive fans of him. Yeah, I loved House Party. Yeah, we had we
yeah,
had lots of house parties in Nigeria. I actually remember that House Party soundtrack was massive when I was because
yeah,
somebody will have a party and they'll be playing all this stuff. And I that's why I told Dalvin that the Jodeci album, the New Jack tracks, My Phone Doesn't Ring and all those were bigger tracks than the Forever My Lady and stuff.
yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They were,
Are
and
you still in Lagos now?
No, I'm in London now. I'm in London. I actually just came back from a concert in Wembley with
Oh,
SWV,
how was
and
that?
yeah, Coco can sing. She can still sing. God. So it's good. It was good. Some were better than others. 112 were okay. Next were better than 112 to me. But Coco SWV stole the show.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Well. Oh, yeah. It's a pity I hadn't. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to see. Get to meet. I'm in Kent, so to get down to London to meet up with them in person, not this chance. But it's good to be able to. I've seen Coco. See, Coco's got a new lease of life with her singing and stuff. So yeah. But definitely, I mean, Tony, we're definitely appreciated that you've discovered us and you've
Yeah.
that you're part of us as well. I mean, yeah, as I said, we've been doing this for. I mean, I've done halftime chats since 2020, but we've been doing this podcast since the beginning. I think middle of the year, and we're going to be taking it into the new year much stronger this time around and stuff, and actually balancing our top tens with some guests as well. Because when we have guests on this podcast, it's that you have Stevie and Sheldon hitting them with questions that I couldn't even think of. So it's going to be an exciting 2024.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. There was something. What's I going to make? It's so funny with the rumors. The interview with was it what's his
Samuel.
name? Not Samuel. After 7. What's his name? Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there was one rumor in Nigeria where I've gotten the third singer who's not Edmonds.
Yeah, there was
Where
there was Keith. Yeah, Keith. Yeah, Keith. Yes.
Keith, where there were rumor that he was cousins to Ellie Reid.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned it, I just started laughing because I remember that same rumor.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember the rumor I heard was that Karen White was supposed to be singing "Don't Be Cruel," and that because it was too much rap, they gave it to Bobby Brown. And Karen and Daryl Simmons says no, that wasn't true, but that's how rumors spread. Yeah, but it was the thing. I'm thinking, are you guys cousins? Is that? And they said no, but it fit the narrative and stuff. So yeah, it fit the narrative but definitely. I mean, that's the thing. That's we all love this stuff, and we love that we've got an opportunity to talk to these guys.
Good.
Yeah,
it's nice catching up with you guys. Yeah.
Well, but also thanks for letting us know about the concert because that's disappointing with 112. Coffee Brown are coming out. They're coming out with a new album. KG's producing it, so then they're going to come on the show.
That's good.
And then also we'll get Next. Yeah, so they're going to come on once they get the music together. But yeah, I know Coco still can sing. It's a pity about Next and 112, but it's good to at least to know that you've just come from that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Good.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good Christmas, sir.
Thank you for your support. Appreciate you listening.
Yeah. And I'll be sure people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the thing.
That was nice to hear that in Nigeria. There, he was rocking with the New Jack Swing out in Lagos.
Yeah, but that's what I said. We you think about Afrobeat is about tempo and beats and stuff, and that's how New Jack really was. So that's why it was very big and popular back then. Yes, DJ All Day, are you going to come on and say a few words and stuff? But it's been. I mean, I love the fact that he just came back from the concert, so that means they've finished, and that's a little early. The beige room of Elvis Shaw and Keith Sweat. Yeah, but as I said, what? Yeah, 37 songs for Color Purple. That seems like a lot. Interludes.
Well, the reason why there's a lot of songs on there is that there's a lot of songs on there that are like tied into the movie, and then there's some other contemporary records on there. That's why it's so many.
Then. To fit 37 songs.
Yes, it's a fairly long movie. It's a fairly long movie. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about
how the
original one was kind of long.
Well, do you think it'll stand up to the original? You know, because
Yeah,
I
the
know
original one
a
is
lot
my
of people
top.
hold that original to their heart, don't they?
That's my top 5 movie. That's the
What
original one, and so I'm
what I think
yeah.
Well, the thing is that this is there. I guess you're right, and of course, when they do a remake of a lot of these films, they kind of find a way to streamline the movie to where, because the other one was very drawn out, very dramatic or whatever. So obviously, um, Oprah's at the helm, so they'll find a way to kind of renew it and it's cast it very well. But I was looking at the track list, and obviously there are a lot of songs on there, some skits or whatever that are kind of like direct tied into the movie, the performance of it, and then of course there's a lot of contemporary songs or whatever. So I guess it's their way of trying to balance out and bring in a contemporary audience. But yeah, that's a lot of music though, you know.
Well, they asked the movie's based on the Broadway play, so they created a Broadway play from the book,
Mm-hmm.
and so then the Broadway play is what they're doing the movie on. So they're not remaking the original Color Purple as it was. They're doing the play, which had all the songs and the singing in it, and that's supposed to be it. So, somebody reminded me because I was like, "Oh, I didn't want a remake," and somebody had to be very clear to point out that actually it's not the remake of the Whoopi stuff; it's the remake of the play which Fantasia starred in. But as I said, for somebody like me who is my top 5 movie is The Color Purple, it is going to be hard for me to watch it. Um, but I may give it a try. But I'm afraid to watch it and just have a very different heart of it. Um,
I noticed that Bobby Brown's "Getaway" has been trending on a few social media platforms this week. I wonder why. I wonder why that is. You know.
yeah. It is. It definitely is. It's
Hey,
definitely.
what a coincidence. You know. What a coincidence.
Yeah, but I must say though the fact that R&B and I could only speak for the last 20 years. It didn't so since the last 3 or 4 years. It seems to be a lot more back in mainstream. This the fact that people are a lot of the other platforms are interviewing R&B acts. They are, Tank has got his show, Questlove has got his show. Who else who does these interviews and stuff? But it seems that the space is being provided for R&B acts, legacy R&B acts to come in and share their story and reminisce. And it seems if there's acknowledgement. Actually, you know what, we've not given them the space that they deserve, and so that can only be good. It's not about competition. It is about celebrating this genre that we have. New Jack, not as much. But
What
anyway,
about do we remember any New Jack style Christmas records? I mean, TLC seemed to do a pretty good one, didn't they? Was it Sleigh Ride or Sleigh Bells or something?
was that part of the LaFace Christmas album?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's the one. Yep.
And there
Yeah.
was
Okay.
Silent Night, which was a rather good Christmas record. Sounds of Blackness, they did a good Christmas New Jack. Don't know if anyone in the comments remembers any Christmas style that was it, Sleigh Ride.
Okay.
Anyone else remembers any New Jack style Christmas records? Obviously the big one was the ballad "Boys to Men, Let It Snow."
Yeah, that was a big one. I don't know if the Destiny's Child was that how was that one? Was that up tempo?
Yeah, they did quite an up tempo one.
Yeah. Mary, did she have I know Mary had one.
Yeah. I think she's got 2 of them now. I think it was one because the anniversary came out for the Christmas one. That one's probably about almost 10 years old.
Okay.
I don't know how this guy creeps into my Christmas list. The Justin Bieber Christmas CD kind of fell off my shelf. I don't know what's going on there. A guilty pleasure there. Guilty pleasure.
Was it that they were giving away the CD?
A youthful Justin Bieber there.
No, Steve Steve waited outside in the winter, no jacket on. It was
to
cold
get my
outside. He
signed
was trying to
copy.
get that.
Do you know okay, A Few Good Men, Silver Bells.
Oh
Do you-
yes, hey,
okay,
brilliant. You know, I forgot
yeah.
about that one.
No, there's an interview that you guys need to look at. It was with Grandmaster D of Houdini, because
Mhm.
he went back into talking about how they started and sort of their journey to hip hop, and why he became a DJ as opposed to an MC, and especially now with the whole 50 years of hip hop. So he talked about how big Houdini was, that they were touring with Duran Duran and Blondie. That's how big they were back in the 80s and stuff like that. And I think it's amazing how those old school hip hop artists like Rum DMC and Houdini were able to go on tours with David Bowie and those kind of people, and then the '90s kind of shifted everything out. But there was an appreciation about hip hop back in those '80s and stuff.
Well, Houdini is unique because Houdini, their record label was based in London. So they made all their records in London. So before they started making records, they toured all over Europe first before they toured in the States. But all of the records that they made were made in London, and they were the first ones when, of course, England was like the first country. They were so far ahead on the technology, like the Fairlight computers and all the digital stuff. So that's all Houdini's music. It was all digital. So it was like state of the art. They were using the latest technology. We're head and shoulders before everybody. They're the first group to ever sell 1 million records. But yeah, those guys were really big, touring all over the world with those acts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They
That's
made
the
the records
link
in
to
London
the
and
interview with.
Wellesley Studios. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, Nupak, thanks. I mean, Toy, thanks for joining in. Foxy Moon, um, Hawk. Is this Savoy? How do I? Is that Savion? How do you pronounce it? Who's going to be good at? Eh? You should have asked her how to pronounce her name.
Is it Savion or Savion? Yeah.
Quite French. Yes, it's quite French.
Oh, Savion.
Yeah.
Okay, it could be French now. Now that we know she's in
Savion,
France.
it's like a fine wine, and it's Savion Blanc.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now you
like
got it.
Savion, like the wine. Yeah, Cavion. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is what she said.
On, guys, you must remember Alexander O'Neill's
Savion.
album.
Whose album?
Alexander O'Neill's Christmas album.
My gift to you, man, that was very popular. Yeah.
Oh, amazing album.
Oh, okay. She says it means it means savage girl.
Oh. Now we understand your posts. No, just playing. We're just playing with
Wow,
you.
I didn't know that. Very interesting. Okay, this was so Foxy was talking about the fact that Houdini them recorded the album in the UK and why. But as I said, yeah, Grandmaster D, one of my early interviews, and yeah, it was good about that stuff. But no, I mean Christmas albums. As I said, apart from Let Us Know, I never got into Christmas albums, and so that's why, as I said, the Boys to Men one really was one of the best ones that they came out with. But yeah,
and then the Mariah Carey one has been extremely popular. That's still, I know. I see your face just,
yeah. It's amazing. None of us put it here in our top 10. Did she make it your top 20 at anyone? Did Mariah make your top 20?
Mariah Carey?
Yeah.
She was one of my honorable mentions, or I think I might have had her along with somebody. She was on honorable mention.
Stevie,
she was an honorable mention for me.
She didn't make even with her looks. She didn't even make it with her looks at all.
You got to think, in the UK, every year we're bombarded with the same 5 Christmas records. Mariah Carey's one of them. We've got Wham! With Last Christmas. We've got that dreadful Slade record.
Yeah.
we've got the Band-Aid record always comes out, and
Yeah.
Oh
and,
wow,
and then there's
yeah,
that guy
yeah.
who
Do they know
passed
it's
away,
Christmas?
the Irish guy who passed away
Oh, the
last week.
Pugs. Yeah. The
Yeah,
Pugs.
we
Christmas
get the same 5 records every year, so I understand Mariah Carey. I get it. It's just, it's just got everything, that record, and in terms of it appeals to everybody. I can still tolerate the Wham record. There's something about that record. There is something about
DJ All Day. That's right. Yes, sir. That's
Oh,
it.
so for nice for
That's
Christmas.
the
I
one.
didn't
DJ All Day. That's what all of them on there. That's right. Yes. I was thinking about that, but it slipped my mind. Ah.
Yeah. No, as I said, I
What happens after
don't.
you've DJ'd all day? Then I guess there's no all night session, is there?
Video, they were supposed to come join us, but is on the road, stuck on the I-95 in New York. So if you want to check out TLC's All I Want for Christmas, yeah. I mean, guys, as I said, we've yeah. I mean, I don't know when we're coming back, but I think we stumbled across our top 10 stuff, and that's Stevie and Sheldon have put together a list of some real amazing topics that we're going to be
Those
going
debates
through.
we've had over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've really pulled them out. They've been really good. I think they've been really good viewing, actually.
Yeah, you know, if there was anything I kind of I always look back on was when we did our producers. I
You
have
keep
no
going
idea
back to that one, didn't you?
because it was one of those things where we were doing our top 10, our favorite producers, and I went from favorite producers to all-time producers, and I'm like Quincy Jones. I can, apart from Thriller. I mean, and Bad. I struggle to think of anything Quincy Jones has done. I was like, but why did I put him as number one? And I love Jam and Lewis, but not over Teddy. And LA and Face, not over Teddy. But I don't know what kind of went wrong with that stuff. I mean, Teddy could have, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Have we done our? Because I think I've mentioned this, and maybe future ones. Our top 10 Teddy tracks, top 10 Jam and Lewis, top 10. Maybe we can do them in the new year.
Yeah, top 10.
A lot of the viewers will get involved with them because
Yeah, even LA and Face, because
yeah,
I would definitely love to see, do yeah, Teddy, LA Face, and Jimmy and Terry.
do a Kyle West one, a Dallas Austin one.
Yeah, yeah, I need to get
do all them Hall of Fame producer ones. Dave Jam Hall, Touchables. We could do all of them in the new year.
Yeah, yeah. If
before we get to the big one, of course, which will be the top 10 interludes, but.
Yeah, top 10 Italy.
Top 10 interludes.
I wonder if we get cancelled if we try and do a top 10 he who can't be named for legal reasons. Who is behind bars. I wonder if we ever tried to if we did. Not everyone separates the music from the person, so it is yeah.
It's an interview, obviously, on another platform. I don't need to mention it, but I just enjoyed the Vanilla Ice. There's a Vanilla Ice interview I watched recently.
Okay.
Because I just remember at the time, because I was so into hardcore hip hop and being real that I couldn't tolerate Vanilla Ice at all. But with hindsight, with a bit of nostalgia, I kind of appreciate it now for what it was. I can see it, I can enjoy it more. I'd rather listen to Vanilla Ice than say a Little Yachty, because in 30 years' time, he's going to be doing a podcast and celebrating Little. Maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe they've, 30 years' time, there'll be a whole bunch community of people celebrating Little Yachty and Little Baby and Little this and Little that. I don't know, but I can't tolerate that. But I've got more of appreciation now and his story's amazing. You know what I mean? And it dispels some myths about being hung over a balcony as well, which I always believed that, but apparently it's false.
That's yeah,
false.
That's true.
But that is the thing about these stories where Tony and I were just talking about how we thought that the relationship with After 7 was because that was the rumor. So rumors, and they actually sometimes they keep those rumors going just because actually it is part of the nostalgia. Because it might, I mean, how easy it is to hang somebody upside down from a balcony and say, "Sign your publishing, or we'll throw you over." You know, now,
Well, that's normal. They used to
yeah,
do that.
but Vanilla Ice said
That was
that's
normal.
what Suge did to him, and then he, but he probably pushed
Yeah.
him to win. I don't know what he said really did happen, but you know, I mean, Andre Reed in his last, not Andre Reed, Andre Harrell in his last interview said that he was in his house when Gene Griffin came to his house, knocked on his door on a Saturday morning. Teddy was in the car, and he says, "Sign over Teddy's publishing." So, and
Yeah.
then he
I need
comes
that
into the
publishing.
office
Yeah.
and slaps him. So Andre shared that, and then even Jimmy Love and Carl West backed it up when Gene slapped him in the office, and the whole office was just like shook up because of that stuff. And you know, I somebody was trying to get Gene Griffin's wife to come on board for an interview. Donna.
Oh, Donna. Yeah,
Yeah.
Donna was doing the circuit because she was trying to do a documentary on her husband, and she was trying to frame her husband as the key component of it, because she was framing it like it was the music side, but then at the same time you can have the music and you can have the talent, but you needed people behind the scenes to really push it forward. Because and in a way she kind of has a point, because remember, at the time when Teddy and them guys were doing music, man, the music business was basically dominated by adults. So they're not trying to fool with kids, they're not trying to fool with young people. So anybody that's coming out, you through like an adult. So she has a point regarding that. It's just that, Gene is, he saw them as a way, like a lot of those hustlers and those guys, to get legit. That's legit money. But it's still the same whole gangster mentality where I own this. It's gotta come through me. So when you see them guys talk now, they don't necessarily talk. It seems like I've heard Teddy and I've heard and Damien talk about it, and it's not as, especially with Teddy, it's not. They look at it like hindsight 2020 type of thing. They don't now frame it as if I was a victim. Yeah, it happened to me, and it's like they kind of like moved on from it. So I don't know if they just got older or if the business just kind of like leveled out. Because they now think they got their publishing back or whatever. But like you said, this platform, it didn't exist back then. Everybody was really talking about a lot of stuff.
Just a
So
shame we
yeah,
didn't get that
it's just
documentary.
amazing how it comes full circle.
The Gene Griffin documentary.
Yeah, mate, it's a shame we haven't got that.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking forward to that documentary, but just not happened, has it?
He was looking forward to the documentary.
But
As I said,
see, there has to
I
be
will reach out because somebody.
It wasn't done. It wasn't done. I think that a lot of times when they're trying to drum up some attention for it to see if somebody will jump in and take the reins and they can get a deal and put it out. But yeah, it would be good to have her on there because she was there.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
to have her
I'll
give her
definitely
point
do.
of view of what it was like.
Because as a Teddy fan, and talking to every single person from Basic Black to Timmy and Dame and Tammy, Carl West. There's not one person. I mean, the one thing that you hear about Gene Griffin is the fact that he had style, he had a vision, and then outside of that, no one else has anything good to say about him other than he had a style, and he was well dressed, well groomed, and he always wanted them to look immaculate, and he worked them hard. Outside of that, it was who was the guy that we interviewed? The TC Tompkins said, he was riding
DC
with
Tompkins,
Gene
yeah,
Griffin. He
yeah.
drives up, he picks up his drugs, and I mean that, then actually it was amazing that Carell kind of expanded the fact that Gene got put into prison because he really wanted to push the whole guy. Is it guy or kids at work? he wanted to push it so big, so
It was
he
kids at
went
work.
back in his drug stuff,
Kids at work. Yeah.
got busted. And so you can, it's amazing how all these guys come on and tell a different style, different part of the story, so you can plot why Gene started Kids to Work.
This is why we need
disappeared.
them on. This is why we've got to try and get these stories, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get Carell back on for.
I mean, you know,
our
imagine
podcast.
Redhead Kingpin. I bet Redhead Kingpin's got some.
Yeah, I've been trying to get
I
Redhead.
understand these guys, man.
Yeah, I've been trying. I mean, they gave me his number. I've tried to call. He's not answering. I mean, some of them have just come out completely. But yeah, I mean, it is about filling the gaps and stuff. Anyway.
There was a really and again the real collectors here will remember this. There was only one record that came out on GOT Records. It was a Teddy Riley, Gene Griffin production. A guy called Billy Davis, called it's a 12-inch, and I've always tried to find out who Billy Davis was. I even asked the what was he called that we got on from Arb? Keep forgetting. Idris.
Idris.
Yeah, I did put it, and I just remembers that. He remembers that record, but who is this guy called Billy Davis who was around that whole Gene Griffin thing? I bet he's got a few stories to tell. And he put out that was a great New Jack Swing record.
Oh.
You know, a lot of the hardcore ones will remember that one. They'll have that 12-inch. It had about 8 mixes. Teddy Riley, dub 1, Teddy's dub 1, Teddy's dub 2, bonus beats, per acapella, club mix. It was a real Teddy's dream 12-inch. That really.
Yeah, goodness. Yeah. I mean, guys, as I said, anyone who's a Teddy fan, you don't know how heartbroken it's been because to not have him on the show yet. It was
Teddy, we are ready.
Teddy, we are ready.
We are ready. Come on the halftime chat.
Yeah,
and tell your side of the story.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking that he's
you'll get all these nerdy questions like who was Billy Davis that you've forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, I mean,
that's the same things over and over. Jane Child, Michael Jackson, Guy, and Blackstreet. That's and Neptunes. But there's a whole, like you say, Sheldon mentioned that Starpoint album a few podcasts ago. That Starpoint album.
Yeah, I don't think most people talk about Michael Jackson too much. Yeah, most people talk about the Michael Jackson stuff. They don't talk about the Starpoint. They don't talk about Abstract.
He did a great album with Deja, James Ingram.
Yeah, Deja. Yeah,
Right.
they don't. Yeah, I remember that James Ingram stuff. I remember. I was like, look at Teddy and his uncle there. I made the New Jacks. I mean, that when I came on, and he had, you're talking about. Tony's talking about seeing Teddy in the credit. When he came out that, and I made the New Jack Swing. I have got this. I just thought, okay, that's it. Now we need to just throw it down just to see. And he was it. Yeah, I mean,
in that comment up there, did you offer Teddy dollars for the maybe we could get a crowdfund situation. Get $500,000 together for the interview.
Yeah, I mean,
they took a few dollars in each.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with it starting. I mean, there is a platform that pays the guest 20 to 50,000 to come on.
Wow.
Yeah, but what happens is you get guests who are sitting down there ready to answer any questions. Like, and that platform will start asking about what do you think about this and what do you think about Aaron Hall? What do you think? Because they're getting paid to up the views. So no, you can't set up a president to pay. But I think the biggest thing I would say is that I had no idea that Blackstreet and Teddy, the guys at Blackstreet and Teddy were not on speaking terms. That was the first thing. And when I had interviews with Blackstreet, I was surprised how much they were willing to share of their behind the scenes disagreements with Teddy, and I think Teddy word got back, and that has put me in a compromising position with that. So, but I think, and then also, as I said, you when you do have other guests, telling their side of the story, like Timmy and stuff. It does, and yeah, other producers and stuff. So I think that it
We
was a
may have had, before all that, you was probably on his Christmas card list, but now you're not, unfortunately.
Teddy followed me, and he would would be sending messages on Instagram. But at the moment, it was like as I said, if I had not watched the was it Uncensored that he was on, and he came out and
Unsung.
no, I think it was
Yeah,
Uncensored that
uncensored. Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
an Uncensored, and I think it was about a month later that I saw that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, so he doesn't talk to these guys, and here I am hanging out with them, holding hands and bringing them up, and it felt as if I picked sides, and I'm like, wow. So that's been unfortunate.
What well, prior to that show, for about maybe 2 years, he had went out with BS2. So he hadn't been fooling with them for a long time. And then again, it came about because of the rights of the song. I mean, the rights of the name. The name came up,
Yeah.
and Chauncey was able to get the name. And then, of course, that was a major issue. And I don't know if Grandmaster D went through the same thing with one of the Houdini members. Is that the Houdini name came up, and he got the
Wow.
name, and it was a big problem. It caused friction between him and his bandmates because he had the name. He owned the name for a while. And of course, you already know the situation. Johnny has kind of cleared a lot of things up, but when the name came up, Johnny got the
Of
name,
New Edition.
and it caused problems for them
Yeah.
until they worked it out. So yeah,
So that's probably why Teddy hasn't come on yet. Everyone but him has come on. So it's understandable, as I said, but these things will get cleared up. These things will get cleared up. But guys, we've definitely enjoyed. I mean, I wish more of you had come on, but we're really grateful for those of you who have come on today, seeing you guys in person, and being able to join us in. And I think, on behalf of Stevie and Sheldon and myself, we're going to try and make this happen again, where we'll give you guys an opportunity to come on board. Because I know more of you would love to have come on, but in the new year. We will come back. We would we'll ask you guys to put out whatever top 10 list you think we should tackle in the new year. It will be great to see. Um, we've thoroughly enjoyed this. I mean, those of us in the UK. I mean, it is about 11:15 at night, but we love doing this. So it's not that we're tired, but it's the fact that we love doing this, and we can't wait to the new year. But anyway, if no one else is joining us, any final words, Sheldon, then Stevie? Okay.
I just say I discovered this rather fine retro soul album CD this week. It's
Who's
called
that?
Bobby Harden and the Soulful Saints. The album's called The Bridge of Love. Check it out. Bit of fantastic
Stevie's
voice.
got
Retro
his
soul.
encyclopedia.
You want to check this out? New album. It's a real gem. This, it'll cost you about £12-13. I don't know how. Is that $15? But check it out, folks. Seriously, that's my parting gift on this Christmas episode. Bobby Harden and the Soulful Saints. There you go.
We're gonna start calling you Stevepedia. You know what I'm saying? Stevepedia. Because Steve is on.
Thank you to all the guests that gave us their time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, Sheldon. Any new article on your news blog?
Actually, no, but I'm actually talking to some people to try to line some interviews up for a couple projects. So nothing coming up on the horizon that's coming out anytime soon. The 50th anniversary of hip hop obviously is closing out, so I might have something that's lined up for that last week. But just basically, just looking at trying to do some interviews, trying to get my book out. I got a couple books I'm working on. One's an LL book, and the other one is doing an anthology of some of the articles that I've written over the past 10 years and just putting them out in the book.
Wow.
So those are my two main side projects for 2024.
Awesome.
Wow. and yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely there are a number of guests who couldn't make it last this coming year. So in the new year, I'm definitely going to see them. People like Lisa, Bonnie the Barge, and actually a few more females, and ex-girlfriend. I can't remember her name, but we're definitely trying to get more females guests on the show. So and just to be hearing it, because one of the things that I've recognized is that actually female guests have a very different story to tell about their journey, because they've had to overcome a number of different things, and so yeah, so that those will be interesting to see. But anyway, definitely, wishing my brothers Stevie and Sheldon a Merry Christmas. It's always a pleasure to be able to spend these 2 hours with you guys, and to every single one of you guys who join us tonight, or who join us every week. It means the world to us that you guys are involved, so we appreciate it. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as I said, we can't wait to see what happens next year. So from all of us,
Thank you, everybody, for your support.
A super Christmas.
yes, take care, guys.
Bye bye.